Self-love is hard. It's not always easy to be kind to ourselves. And the challenge with self-love is that it's both a feeling and also an action. So how do we practice self-love when we don't feel like we are deserving of that love? That is probably one of the biggest challenges. Welcome back, friends. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so I just wanted to do a candid conversation around self-love. I know this holiday can be isolating for some people, especially if they don't feel like they have a partner or person to share in this experience with, but I'm hoping that this video can be healing and also a reminder for you to celebrate love, and that self-love is equally important, if not more, than the love you celebrate with others. So let's go ahead and talk about self-love. I want to start by talking about my own relationship with self-love. I remember when I was younger, I struggled with it. I had a weird thing about it. I felt like it was needed in order to fill a void or to fill the lack of something else. So if I didn't have a relationship, I was like, self-love was to fill the lack of romantic love, to kind of take place of that missing piece. Over time, that is a toxic mentality because it's not a fail-safe and it's not a consolation prize. Self-love is the foundation for all love. And I learned that self-love is what teaches others how to love you, and it also teaches you how to show love for the people that you care for. And it's not always easy. There will be moments where we falter, and there are really hard days where we are just extremely hard on ourselves. But knowing that we're not alone in this journey is going to help us to ask ourselves these tough questions. And I'm hoping that this video can be helpful in any way. These are things that I've learned over time in my own self journey, and maybe some of them can be helpful to you in terms of how to practice and how to cultivate self-love. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one that I want to talk about is giving yourself permission to express yourself. Self-expression and expressing yourself is a form of self-love. And that's more about figuring out your identity. How do you want to present to the world? What is that unique identity? And how do you honor that identity? Honoring that identity is a form of self-love because you give yourself the space to step into who you are. And that could be through fashion, that could be through art, it could be a combination of all the things. And for me, for example, am a really big earring lover. I'm a big earring girly, and I've always been. I don't know why it took me 18 years to get my ears pierced. I blame my dad for that. I love you, but I blame you for that. And once I started doing that, I felt so much joy in finding pieces that I felt like represented me. So this is my current earring stack. And this one is Ana Luisa, which is my favorite brand at the moment. I've been wearing them for 3 years now. I first got it as a gift, and now I've repurposed that as a form of gift giving to myself, just because I resonate with the brand so much. Main part of why I want to talk about jewelry to begin with is that there are going to be things in your life that bring you joy and that you feel like you identify with. Things that you're going to say that's me. I need that. That's me. There is not anything that's more Lilian than these earrings. Giving yourself opportunities to express those moments and to express that identity of yours is an act of self-love. And also just gifting yourself things that you want and not waiting for a romantic or platonic gesture to be done for you is an act of self-love. So gift giving and also expressing yourselves are the first things that I think of when I think about how to put into practice tangible steps towards self-love. The next one that I want to talk about is romanticizing your life. So romanticizing your life, we talk about this a lot, and it sounds a little bit silly and like main character energy, but it's so true. And there's value to seeing yourself as the main character, seeing yourself as this protagonist who is optimistic and confident and can handle anything that comes her way. Right? And when you see yourself in that way, you start to reframe the challenges you face as opportunities. You start to see them as stepping stones to new chapters in your life that you are not afraid of, but are actually excited for. And when you do that, you start to find joy in the little things in your life. And that could be as simple as just getting a cup of coffee, and that cup of coffee ended up being your favorite of all time. Or be on the subway and someone gets up to let you sit down. All these little incremental experiences and interactions with the world and with people all can add up to a positive and loving environment for you, as long as you can romanticize it as such. Seeing your life as beautiful and uplifting and warm and opportunistic that is going to make your life all of those things. When we reframe how we react to things, then we are a lot more in control of how we actually welcome opportunities and welcome positive experiences into our life. So romanticize your life, make everything excitable, and it also tells you that you are worthy and that you're valuable, because everything that you're doing and everything that you're experiencing is of value. So that's kind of why it works and how I've seen it manifest in my life. Next one that I want to talk about is building a positive self-concept. What's a self-concept? A self-concept is basically this mental image of how you view yourself. And so we want to work towards a positive self-concept. A positive self-concept would look like, I believe that I'm capable. I believe that I'm enough. I believe that I'm worthy. I believe that I'm worthy of abundance, of good things. I'm worthy of things happening for me. When we think and operate and align our actions to that mindset, we start to unlock these experiences that didn't exist before. We start to attract positive experiences because we train our brain to see things differently. Where I used to see a roadblock, I now see an opportunity. And that's because you train your narrative and you train your brain to operate as such. Working towards building a positive self-concept is going to look like journaling. It's going to look like saying daily affirmations, writing those affirmations, and then reciting it, and starting to really believe the things that you tell yourself. It's about creating an empowering narrative so that you can believe yourself to be a confident, loving individual who can handle anything that comes your way. Building a positive self-concept is a form of self-love because you're cultivating an environment for you to grow and also experience very positive things. The last one I want to talk about is dating yourself. And that's kind of like timely because it's Valentine's Day, but really go on a date with yourself. Go on a date and learn about yourself. Get to know yourself. And like, what do we do on dates? On dates, we're really trying to understand who the person is, what their values are, what do they like to do, what brings them joy. So similarly, doing that time and time again for ourselves is going to be really important because we are dynamic individuals and we change all the time. We change all the time. So if we don't take the time to get to know each version of ourselves, we might find ourselves in spaces that we outgrow. We might find ourselves in spaces that no longer contribute to the life that we're moving towards. And we might not even realize that we're just going through the motions and could be very unhappy where we are. But when you take yourself on dates and you go in these novel experiences and you ask yourself these tougher questions, you learn who you are at this moment, what aligns with the type of person you want to be, and then you take active control in creating that life for yourself. So that one I wrote about back in 2021 because I was like in the peak of the pandemic, and I remember I was feeling such at a standstill at that time because I had just graduated college. I mean, we're all like working from home, and it was like a really weird social dynamic, right? And I couldn't really figure out why I was feeling so stuck or unmotivated or still. And part of that, what I realized was that I didn't get to know who Lilian was after I graduated college. My identity and my self-concept was aligned to college Lilian. But now that I've graduated and I'm in this new stage of my life, because I didn't get to know her, I wasn't building opportunities to nurture that version of me. So go on a date with yourself, take yourself to novel experiences, try something new, engage with opportunities that are right for this version of you so that you can build more love for yourself. Those are the main things that I want to talk about in this video. I probably can do a longer video in a different one, but I wanted to keep it digestible. The things that I talked about in this video are ones that have really, really helped me to think about self-love differently and also put into practice on a daily basis those actions. Self-love, again, is not just a feeling, but it is an action. And those incremental actions will help add up to a positive self-concept and also help you feel a lot better about the life that you're creating for yourself. Thank you so much for joining in on this video. Just wanted to do a heart-to-heart. And I would love to know if you want to put in your comments and start a dialogue. I would love to continue that conversation. What are some challenges that you currently face in your self-love journey? Or what are some things that have worked for you? And last but not least, I want to say that in the link in my description bio, you'll be able to find a custom personalized link. If you want to go ahead and look at that, it'll be there. Thank you so much for joining in this channel, and I will see you next time.